Every day thousands of tourists come here. But while some are thrilled, others are convinced they wasted their money. So is it really worth going to this hotel? Let's find out. Welcome to Serenade Punta Cana Beach and Spa Resort. Serenade Punta Cana looks like a tropical paradise on the Caribbean coast. The hotel has a spacious and beautiful area with multiple pools, cozy lounge zones, and a modern gym. It's truly pleasant to walk around and enjoy the warmth of the Dominican Republic. Every evening, guests are treated to vibrant shows, musical performances, and fun parties, so there's never a dull moment. Visually, the resort leaves a great impression. Well-kept paths, palm trees, and ocean views create a relaxed vacation atmosphere. Serenade Punta Cana promises to be a place where you can disconnect from everyday worries. The hotel is rated 4.3 on Google, 8.1 on Booking.com, and 4.3 on TripAdvisor. However, even such a popular hotel has its downsides that can significantly affect your decision. Let's take a closer look at all the pros and cons of the hotel so you can make the right choice. But before we start, I'd like to ask you to subscribe to our channel and support this video with likes and comments. Thank you. The beach at Serenade Punta Cana Beach and Spa Resort was a real disappointment for me. Instead of the expected turquoise sea, I saw brown water with an unpleasant smell and sticky consistency. The entire shoreline was covered with seaweed that no one was removing. There was so much of it that we had to forget about beach relaxation altogether. Swimming in the ocean was impossible. It was shallow, water up to the knees, and the bottom was full of seaweed. This completely ruined my expectations of the Caribbean coast. Maybe I came during a period when there was a lot of seaweed in the ocean, but clearly, the beach was poorly maintained. Also, there was no bar or area where you could grab a snack or drink a refreshing beverage. The only thing constantly present was loud music because guests were allowed to bring their own speakers. The atmosphere was more annoying than relaxing. I don't understand why the hotel doesn't warn guests in advance about this situation. We chose this resort mainly for the beach, but in the end, we spent more time by the pool, so the beach is clearly the hotel's weak point. If the beach is your top priority. Unfortunately, Serenade Punta Cana definitely won't meet your expectations. After such a disappointing beach experience, I wasn't expecting anything good from the hotel, but the territory surprised me. The grounds of Serenade Punta Cana seem spacious, well kept, and overall nicely designed. The resort is well planned, plenty of pools that are pleasant to swim in and enough places to relax in privacy. I especially liked the main pool. It was clean and had comfortable lounging areas. I'd also like to mention the gym. It's modern, bright, and equipped with everything you need. The location is convenient, close to the airport and right on the seafront. Visually, everything looks beautiful, but there are some unpleasant details. Throughout the grounds, there was a strange, unpleasant smell, especially in warm weather. The cleaning left much to be desired. In some areas it was dirty, which spoiled the overall impression. Another downside was the constant attempts by vendors to sell us something. They approached us by the pool and near the restaurant, when all we wanted was to relax. This created a feeling of pushiness and disturbed the rest. The spa and shops on the territory were very expensive, as was the hotel in general. The infrastructure is decent. There's a kids club, game zones, and a lobby, but the hotel clearly lacks organization and noise control. Some guests played music from their own speakers, not considering others. If it weren't for these annoying details, the impression of the territory could have been much better. Friends, if you've already stayed at Serenade Punta Cana, let me know in the comments what you liked and didn't like. I'd love to discuss. So, the grounds are more or less nice and there are places to relax, but I had a completely different opinion about the food. The food at Serenade Punta Cana was the biggest disappointment for me. At first glance, everything looks impressive. A huge buffet, several restaurants to choose from, it feels like paradise. But in reality, it was quite the opposite. The food quality was terrible, and even in the specialty restaurants, the dishes were worse than in the main buffet. The variety at the buffet was minimal, and the food tasted equally bland every day. The alcohol served throughout the hotel was the cheapest possible, so in the end, we just stopped drinking. The cocktails were awful, the juices were artificial, and the water had an unpleasant taste. There were barely any fruits, and the ones available looked unappetizing and were covered in flies. Service in the a la carte restaurants was mediocre, and the food presentation had nothing to do with fine dining. I visited several restaurants, including Bellum, after which I got food poisoning. Overall, the food didn't stimulate the appetite, and the flies around only made things worse. Even simple dishes like pasta or chicken were either overcooked or too dry. In my opinion, they should offer less but with higher quality. For this level and price, the food left an extremely bad impression. That's the unpleasant experience I had with the restaurants, and now, I just wanted to go to my room, relax and forget about the beach and the food. So let's go see the room. My room at Serenade Punta Cana left a mixed impression. It was indeed huge and spacious, and the view from the window was simply breathtaking, especially in the mornings. However, I noticed a musty smell right away, which didn't go away during my entire stay. There were a lot of mosquitoes and other insects in the room, which made it hard to relax. Housekeeping wasn't done daily, which seemed strange for a hotel of this level. The TV worked, but the volume couldn't be adjusted. It was either too quiet or unbearably loud. I was also surprised by the bathroom window that looked directly into the bedroom. A questionable design decision, in my opinion. Other than that, the room was furnished in a modern style and looked fresh. The furniture was comfortable, and the air conditioning worked steadily. But small things like the smell, mosquitoes, and poor cleaning left a bad impression. However, as you know, even the most beautiful room isn't everything. Because the mood during a vacation often depends on the people around you, and that's where it gets interesting. I personally didn't like the staff at Serenade Punta Cana. There are a lot of employees here, and some of them do try to be nice. But overall, the service leaves much to be desired. The reception rarely answered calls, and getting help by phone was nearly impossible. Room service took forever and wasn't of high quality. Sometimes we had to ask twice for the simplest things. Many waiters and staff didn't speak English, only Spanish, which made communication difficult. On the beach, staff was barely visible, and the concierge was completely useless. I was surprised at how rarely you'd see a smile. Many employees looked tired and unmotivated. At times, it felt like they were just tolerating you. There were even unpleasant situations when staff directly tried to sell additional services or goods, creating awkwardness. There was a clear lack of friendliness and willingness to help. Overall, the staff is one of the weakest aspects of the hotel, but fortunately, not everything here is disappointing. There is one area where Serenade Punta Cana really excelled. I genuinely enjoyed the entertainment at Serenade Punta Cana. Every day, there were different activities, from pool games to various workshops. The evening shows were especially memorable, vibrant, energetic and well-produced. Musical performances were of good quality, and the theatrical shows looked professional. I had something to do every evening and never got bored. The disco was also fun, with a great atmosphere and pleasant music. I appreciated that the entertainment was tailored for all age groups. Everyone could find something to enjoy. Overall, I really liked the entertainment program at the hotel. I do not recommend Serenade Punta Cana Beach, located in the Dominican Republic, for a vacation. The beach was completely unsuitable for relaxation, the food was disappointing, the rooms had unpleasant details, and the service fell far short of what you'd expect for the price. The lack of attention to detail and the complete absence of quality control in key areas were especially noticeable. If you're looking for an active vacation and are willing to overlook the food, service, and beach, you might like it. But if comfort, good food, and peaceful ocean vibes are important to you, this hotel will likely disappoint. Personally, I will not return here. Friends, the final choice is always yours, and only you can decide whether it's worth flying to this hotel or not. And while you're thinking, I recommend watching these other videos about Dominican hotels. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like it and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our new reviews. And with that, I say goodbye. See you next time at a new hotel.